Okay, I'm going to do a couple versions of simple eyes. So this will be my first one. Actually, I'll probably end up doing 3 versions. We'll do simple. I'm just going to create a polygon sphere. And let's isolate this puppy. Just going to hit F. So the simplest eye, or maybe the second simplest, I could probably go in and just put 2 colors on something like this. But take this eye, and let's go in here, and I'm going to look at the UV editor on this thing. So I've got this. Okay. Let's get rid of that. And something's doing something funny there. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm just going to throw on a simple material. Actually, what do I have here? That's strange. It's because I'm using 2019 and my Arnold shader standard surface. I forgot to do a little trick. If you go and when you do this, assign new material, if you find it and if you right click on it, you can add it to your favorites. So the next time I want to use that, right click, there it is right there. Seems like you can't do that with V-Ray. V-Ray, I have to do some other tricks. But, so I got this on here. I'm going to go here to the color, and I'm going to put on a ramp. So if I find the ramp, I am looking for the ramp right here. It has this little rainbow thing. Remember, the presets are set to black and white, but originally it used to look like that. Okay, and I can move these little sliders around. And this is also because my UVs are looking like this. They're straight up and down, right? You can see the North Pole there, South Pole over here. And let's find this again. Boop. Okay, so I can kind of move these little gradient lines around. And the red's probably not a good color. Let's go over and we'll change this to some kind of whitish. Actually, let's go like over here. And then what if I take that and I make it a bit whiter, but it's still kind of pinkish, kind of orangey, warm. And then I can take this green one here and we'll just make that black. Boop. Have it really close here. This blue one, I can pull this in like this. I can click and that'll create a new one. There's a little X down here, you can get rid of that. So I'll come in here and do something like that. And I'll pull one in here, and then I'll just make that black. Selected colors, you can see the positions. You can animate all this stuff too if you right click on it. So you want to make eyes open and close and stuff like that here. I'm just going to hit select so we're not looking at the eyes. So, or I don't see the geometry on here. So there you go. And if I hit 3 on this, then I go back here to this texture. There you go. So that's the simplest possible one you can come up with, right? You could go a step further and you could take this selected color and you can map it, and you might map it with, say, a noise texture. Okay, and I can see a little bit of a problem right there, but the noise texture is black and white right now. I can bring up the frequency on this, and what I can also do is go down here. You see it was black and white, and we're getting that mix of blue. If I go into the color balance, I can change the color gain. So the white area, I can make that blue. Maybe I'll use a little sampler and sample that blue that I have there. And then you can take the black area, come on, and sample, and maybe I'll sample that blue as well, but this time I'll take that blue and I'll make it a darker blue. There. I might even just change that so it's not quite, come on. And by the way, if this little sample thing, when you click on it, it doesn't show up right, if you just double click on it, it opens up and it stays there while you're noodling around figuring out what you want to do. Let's make it a little bit over this way. And, okay, well, you're figuring out how you want it to look. And let's take this one, make it a bit lighter maybe, and bluey, and whatever I want to do. So, and I'm going to probably have to render this to see exactly what it looks like. Done. You might also notice too that when I open this and I hit graph, okay, I don't have the actual object selected. I'm going to hit the graph button here so we can see my little graph, what's going on. There's my ramp, there's the Place 2D texture node, the noise is plugged in over here. If I go to select this color as well, I can take this noise and I can middle click, drag and drop, so now it's on both of them, and that way I get a better looking eyeball. Okay, so that's Simple, 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 simple. And then I've kind of taken that and pushed it a little bit, of course. Let's take a look at something a little bit different. Let's go back up here. So this one and this one, they have a different type of UV layout. Okay, so let's just close that. And where are they? They're over here. And this one relies on me having these things exactly in the middle. So let's just go and grab all the UVs here and grab the move tool. And let's just go in. I'll grab a couple. I'm just going to hold down Control and not that one. To UV shell. There we go. And if I hold down X, I can move these so they're directly in the center. Grab these and then to UV shell. And I'm just going to move these over to the edge. This is the back side of the eyes. Okay, no one's ever going to see. I'm just going to pull this over here and no one's ever going to notice these things. Or they shouldn't. Okay, so I did this one a little bit different. Okay, and I'm just going to grab this and we'll put on standard surface again. And I'm going to go to the color and I'm going to do the ramp again. Okay, and with the ramp, it's got the black and white thing going on. Well, that's okay. Let's just do this so we can kind of see. Got this strong gradient line. You see, it looks like a cat. If I go into the V ramp, I can change this into a circular ramp. Okay, this is more interesting. Okay, so let's pull this down. Let's pull this way. There we go. So now we're actually working with the texture in the UV grid here. And hopefully, there we go, something like this. Okay, that looks kind of interesting. Maybe we'll make this a bit bigger, just for the hell of it. That's too big. And actually, right here is, actually, we'll keep it on linear. You can put it on maybe smooth so they blend a bit more, but... okay, I'm going to stop being fussy, and we'll stay right there. Good, good, good. And then I can go in here and pop in a new color gradient line, and I can make that blue. Okay, and then I can make another one there, and then make another one, and then take that one and make it black. And so I got a pupil. Okay, so I've done this in a different way. But one thing this gives me the ability to do is I want those little iris lines, right? I can't do that with that other texture I had when I put in the noise. It gets kind of noise and it's noisy. Doesn't look like iris lines. They look like little gills. So if I grab this blue one here and I go in and I put on the noise texture. By the way, you don't want to use the fractal. I guess you could. I tend to use the noise. Fractal doesn't work in V-Ray, so I don't tend to use it, or it's not supposed to work in V-Ray. Okay, and we're having issues here. It's not really showing me what it's looking like, but we'll take a look at it here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll open up the hypershade, and I want to see what this noise looks like. Let's grab the eyeball. I'll hit graph. There it is. And if I just go over, there's a little S right here. I select that, boop, and it shows up here. Okay, cool. So I've got the noise texture on, and you've got things like the ratio and frequency ratio, maximum depth. Okay, so that just has more and more noise layered upon itself. But there's this little thing here called implode, and that will pull it towards the center. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Frequency, and put more in. And anything else, implode center, maximum depth, frequency. If I find there's too much noise in here, I want to smooth it out, I can. Inflection. No, that's not going to do anything in this case. And then, if I go down a bit further, you'll find there's the color balance, so I can grab the colors again. There's my blue. There's my other blue, and I'll make that blue darker. So you can see a bit of a variation in it. And you could probably even put in more of these things too if you start thinking about it. But, and of course, let's make that some kind of other kind of color. So it's a little bit off, so they're not kind of too much the same. And now we want to look at how this looks. Let's see if I hit S. And it's not showing me here how good that's going to look. I'm going to select the other line too, and then I can grab that noise, and so I got those little gradient lines selected. I can middle click and pop that on here too. Not really seeing it. I'm just going to, of course it looks wonderful right here. I'm going to go into Arnold and hit the render. And what do we got? And I'm just thinking if I've actually got a light in the scene. There we go. So that implode should work. It looks a little bit funny on the lines here. Why? Okay, everything's lagging a bit. Of course, it's kind of looking kind of funny. It should be giving me what I was thinking I was going to get out of it. Okay, anyway, I might have to fuss around with this for a little while. Wonder... why would it stretch across there? It was looking fine a moment ago. Anyway, the first one works the best. I'm going to do another one that's kind of simple. And also, too, when I'm rendering and I'm trying to do these tutorials at the same time, they tend to lag. That should go right in the center, though. Okay, anyway, I'll stop thinking about this. And this is... here, actually, if I hit this with F... this will be the end of this one. So I'm going to make another one, another version of the eyes in a moment. And now I can't get to my freaking stop button. And stop, for the love of God, where are you? There you are. Boop.